So marathon training week 2, heading towards a hopeful appearance at the Abingdon Marathon on the 20th of October. So I'm John, a former 2:42 marathon runner, hoping to go under 3:10 at the Abingdon Marathon in the autumn. So it's Wednesday lunchtime and I'm out on a marathon progression run. Now, for those of you who didn't see the previous video when we introduced this series, I am following a Ben Parks plan. It's a sub 3 hour plan. I don't expect to get anywhere near sub 3 hours, but I'm following the training principles and the sessions on there. So today's run consists of 3 miles at easy steady pace, which I'm on now, 3 miles at marathon pace, and then 1 mile tempo and 2 miles cool down, so 9 miles in all. So far this week's been a bit hit and miss. Monday we did a nice 6 mile run at a decent clip with a friend, but last night we set out to do this session. But firstly, Dawn's been struggling since Saturday when we did the track and field championships, when she fell heavily when warming up for the 100 metres. She's had chest pain since then, and last night it was quite bad, so she had to can her run early. And then the plan B I had to go and run the session round a local playing field was sorted by said playing field having lots of football practice going on it. So I'm fortunate enough to have enough flexibility with my lunch times to be able to complete the session today instead. So I've chosen a reasonably flat road loop in the city I work in to complete this session. Conditions, as you can see, are quite nice. It's about 21 degrees, which for the summer we've had so far is pretty warm. So I plugged the entire run into my Coros watch so it can count down each rep for me. I haven't got heart rate on display, but I'm looking to run each of the marathon miles in around 7:20 to 7:30 minute mile pace, and the 1 mile tempo hopefully 7 or even sneak just under 7. So I've not got the heart rate on, but I'd expect the marathon pace miles to come out at around 155 to 160 heart rate to show I'm in that sort of marathon shape. So what else can I tell you? We're doing this run in the Adios Adizero Pro 3s. Love those trainers for marathon running. I'm wearing my earphones. I'll be listening to a podcast on the history of British elections. So right hamstring's feeling a little bit sore on warm-up, but hopefully nothing to bother us. So in a minute I'm going to move in to the first of those marathon paced miles. Mile 1, 7:28. It's okay so far. Let's go. Mile 2, 7:25. Bang on. Let's get this last marathon pace mile done and save something for the tempo mile after. At the hilliest part of Doncaster, this used to be on the old half marathon route. So marathon mile 7:25, 7:4, 6:53, which I think is aspirational tempo, just over 1:30 half marathon pace rather than current tempo. But we'll see in September at the Lake Burnley half marathon. So session done and dusted, hit the pace numbers I wanted. A quick look at the heart rate says 159 average for the entire run. I'll do a deeper dive into each of the marathon pace miles and the tempo miles later. It's probably a little bit higher than I'd want ideally, but as I said, it is warm for England at this time of year, low 20s, and as you can see, I have sweated rather a lot. Probably could have hydrated a little better, but when you're running in the middle of the day and it's between work meetings, you just have to go with the time you've got, which I said I'm grateful for. But I'll just go and dry off, take a recovery drink, and then let you know some more detail about how I think this session went. So there we go, folks, session nailed. Nice loop, as you can see, with a little bit of out and back at the beginning and the end, and not a lot of road crossings. So in that regard, everything went absolutely to plan. Let's take a deeper dive into those stats that the Coros app gave me. So you can see that we actually hit the paces. We had 3 miles easy. You can see the 3 miles in the middle at marathon effort, and then the 1 mile tempo as the pace goes up, and then the recovery 2 miles at the end. So we hit the paces and stayed mainly in aerobic endurance and aerobic power zone. Where I was a little bit concerned was the heart rate. I said at the beginning I expected 155 to 160 for the marathon effort miles. They actually averaged 165, and for the tempo mile 175. Now I've often found that in summer when I've trained to heart rate in the past and we've had warm weather training, my pace has either dropped by 20 seconds a mile at the same effort, or by running the same pace the heart rate is 7 or 8 beats higher than I would have hoped. So that's what's happened here. And I can also note that for the 2 cool down miles the heart rate was actually at 161, which is higher than my marathon heart rate would be. So nothing to worry about at this stage. I nailed the session and I'm very pleased to have completed it. As I mentioned earlier, Dawn didn't do the session the previous day. She's picked up an injury and here she is to tell you all about it.
So those of you who watch the channel will know that I did some track races on Saturday. Unfortunately, I also took a tumble on Saturday on the track. I got my spike caught and I hit the ground quite hard. Unfortunately, I hurt my chest, but I didn't realise until I got home on the Saturday evening. So anyhow, I woke up Sunday morning and I thought, oh, it's all right, but it wasn't. I went out to do a run and unfortunately I was in quite significant pain. So I'm not sure if I've cracked a rib or whether I've done some strain to the intercostal muscle. But either way, the injury is quite significant at the moment and is reducing the amount of running that I'm able to do. So I went out and tried to do the session that was set, but you can see here I was in no fit state to do it. So I did 3 miles gentle running and 1 mile where I tried to increase the pace, but the pain was too intense. So currently I'm taking each day as it comes because I'm not sure, as I said, whether I've cracked a rib or whether it's a strain. But hopefully the next few days we'll see some improvement. And I hope to be able to continue with my training for the marathon and have everything back on track.
So there we go, folks. Not an ideal start to the marathon training process, particularly for Dawn, but fingers crossed we can keep on keeping on, as we say. And on that note, we hope you've enjoyed this video, especially me doing the session. If you have, please give this video a like, and if you'd like to see how we progress and if Dawn can get herself back training, then please consider subscribing to the channel. She's looking to run the Chester Marathon in October for the England Masters, so that's well worth seeing. So until next time, keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.